在を卒業に般若波た自証券法案回駆動細工役者利子式具意空空意識式即税空空即税式重創業式学部尿税者利子税証法空総務証法空空空上空増減税航空中無式無創業式無限意味税式無式証拠未足無限界内し無意識外無明薬無明人内し無老死薬無老死人無復讐滅動無知薬無得意無浄土公母大三角般若波羅蜜多法身無定下無定下無空音理一切天道無即行で完全勝物へ般若波羅蜜多法空阿の歌三脈三宝大統治般若波羅蜜多税大二種税大名種税無常種税無東道種無常一切空真実無法説般若波羅蜜多種節種圧ギャテギャテアラギャテアソギャテオリソワカ般若心経願わくは
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to the Valley of the Judged. I am your one and only gaming monk, better known as Mildra. And with me I have 1, 2, 3 brothers and sisters. We have the man behind the Wanderer's Library and the man who recently went on a ranking experiment with me regarding Doom. Good brother Sig.
That was a fun time. We should do something like that again soon.
As I said after that, when the inevitable DLC for the Dark Ages comes out, we probably will.
Oh god, we're gonna have an extensive chat about that.
Probably.
Maybe.
Continuing on, on the other end of the equation, we have the woman with a poutine signal in the sky. Good sister Tabby.
You know what? Don't knock it till you try it fresh. I mean, I cut all the potatoes myself, and grated the cheese, and made the bacon and everything. It was all great.
Yep. And the man who is powered by the best and worst dad jokes. Good brother Joe.
I mean, technically all dad jokes are the worst.
So
That's why they're compared to German sausages.
I was waiting for it. Didn't disappoint.
But
I try not to.
as mentioned, this is the end of this particular leg of the journey. As with this week, we are going to be wrapping up our look into Farsight. But before we do give those final thoughts, we'll be going into allies and foes, so the NPC end of things. As with most cases where bestiaries are covered in this series, we won't be going into individual stat blocks because that would be kind of redundant. But going into the way things are set up for stat blocks is still going to be a thing, and there's going to be some familiar territory. And of course, given the cover art for this chapter, this is not yet another bug hunt. This is an arachnid
I'm doing
hunt.
my part.
Yep, this is an arachnid hunt. Arachnids are not insects.
I was about to say, I love the blatant Starship Troopers reference right there.
You know, I'm out. That's too big of a spider.
Get your ass back here.
Nope, I'm out.
Relax. If it comes too close, I'll just cut it down.
Fine, I'll hide behind Sig the whole time.
Although, I do have to wonder if you're going to be dealing with with bugs that big, why are you armed with? Why is the biggest thing you're armed with is a pistol?
Maybe it shoots explosive rounds, or maybe it's an arc, or it's an arc generator.
All I'm gonna say is I'm gonna quote my Hogwarts Legacy character when I say, "Far too many spiders. One is too many."
It could be worse. You could be dealing with the swarm of roaches from Joe's apartment, not you.
Oh, you had to bring that up.
Well,
Gross.
at least we would always be greeted by voices singing. Not very well, but at least singing.
But obviously, this is going into the NPC end of things and the stat blocks, as well as the creatures that inhabit the many worlds that you could play in Farsight. I'm surprised that they didn't have a quote at the bottom of the opening page, but oh well. So each NPC or creature's stats, called a stat block, has the necessary info. So it goes into name, classification, and classification includes things like the type, of which the available types are constructs, so self-explanatory there. Humanoid, also self-explanatory. Phytoid, so creatures belonging to the plant kingdom, but
Kill it with fire.
I think you should kill all of these with fire.
Fungoid creatures also fall into this category, so that would also include 40k orcs.
No, I will not do the wah.
No, but they are technically made from spores. They are technically a fungus, which is why they're such a pain to get rid of. Because you kill one, it releases spores, and eventually that will become more of them. But let's see, Xenoid, which encompasses a wide variety of creatures that are alien in the strictest sense of the term, including many of the non-humanoid sentient species. By escaping any classification, Xenoids end up encompassing all creatures that do not fit into any of the types. And Zooid, that would basically be animal fauna. Let's see, and then though there's also additional descriptors, amorphous, so your 5'5" cube of jello, anthropomorphic, aquatic, so self-explanatory there, arthropod, so this is where you get your insects, arachnids, crustaceans, so on. Exotic, for having an exotic physiology. Incorporeal, I ain't afraid of no ghost. Mutant, psionic, creatures of a psionic nature. Shapeshifter. Mike wants the flamethrower.
Mike wants a what?
Spaceborne, creatures that can survive the conditions of a vacuum. And species. Each humanoid or xenoid species counts as a separate descriptor.
Why are we bringing up that movie?
Let's see, then we have size. Self-explanatory there. Size also affects the vitality points of a given creature, as well as the damage dealt by its attacks. Then nature, so behavior. So we have Energivore, they feed by absorbing energy. And photosynthesis counts as that. Geovore, they feed on minerals, so the rock biters from the Never-Ending Story.
Or Gorons.
Carnivores.
Big, strong hands.
Carnivores, self-explanatory.
What about rock steak?
And somebody had to eat Osmongold's $2 steak.
Damn.
Let's see. Herbivore, self-explanatory there. Omnivore, what humans actually are, despite the protestations of certain vegans.
Be careful now. They'll come after you.
To
We
that
can
I
take
say-
them.
To that I say, take a number, sit down, I'll get to you eventually.
Now calling number 32. Now calling number 32.
Let's see. Passive, so passively uses the environment to obtain nourishment, so most plants.
Hmm.
Predator. You son of a
Man, I
bitch.
love that movie.
Oh, Grazers only feeds on part of the prey without killing it. Oh. Parasite. Good anime, by the way.
It's okay.
Oh, Scavenger. So it feeds on the dead plant matter or decomposed. So your vultures.
Or your average redditor.
True enough.
Filterer. Ones that swallow and filter the medium through which they move, air, water, or soil. And advanced, so complex strategies including agriculture and livestock. See, then the level and threat, so the threat rating. Says a creature's level affects many of its stats, see below. Unlike characters, a creature can also have no level at all, in which case it's referred to as a level 0 creature, or it can have a level higher than 20. A creature that already has levels incorporates those benefits into its stat block. If you assign new levels to it, you only need to apply the benefits of the levels you add. The threat rating instead provides a general estimate of how dangerous a creature is, giving the GM an idea of the level the character should be at to face it. And we have a thing for threat rating. So low threat, levels 1 through 4, moderate, 5 through 10, high, 11 through 16, extreme, 17 through 20. So it looks like we're not exactly doing challenge rating this time.
Thank God.
Challenge rating is so subjective, it's ridiculous.
Right?
Don't get me started on how a freaking CR1 nearly killed a freaking level 20 paladin. I'm not even shitting you.
Well, the big flaw, in my opinion, when it comes to challenge rating, is that it assumes a balanced party of 4. And from a designer perspective, you have no way of knowing what the party composition is going to be. And even if it was the original 4 classes, there's still too many moving parts on that front. That's why I didn't even bother with that kind of thing with Legend Edition. It's because the sheer amount of moving parts on both ends of the equation makes figuring out what a balanced encounter would look like kind of impractical. But
I was about to say, this is why whenever I ran 5e, I always put creatures with challenge ratings higher than most of the party, but they got through it mostly okay.
Yeah, when I was running it, I did the same, but I also would do things that I went very, very strictly with the CR thing that they had on it, and it like most of the monsters in 5e are not actually like they don't practice what they preach. That's what I'm trying to say.
given the caliber of the writers.
It's just let me just say, whenever I created a CR26 and my characters were like level 35 because it was an epic level campaign, they were surprised when CR26 still could do like 200 damage to them, and I'm like, yeah, that's how much they're supposed to do. And they were like, no, it's not. I'm like, no, dude, it's what it's supposed to do.
You're not supposed to, if the GM says that's how it goes, that's how it goes.
Especially with somebody in the party having a barbarian with 608 plus HP.
It was only 660. Come on. And I nearly downed her like 12 times in that one fight. Anyway,
Missed opportunity to have 666 HP.
I think she had like 662 or something.
Considering I made her as a joke, modeling her after the Doomslayer in 2016, that would kind of fit.
Yeah, it really would have.
Yep. But first we have vitality points, which works the same way as it does for characters. The base setup is based on the size. Essentially, it's strength plus will, and then a base amount, with an additional VP given for each level. So it looks like creature level in this case is a way to further customize a given creature, which is certainly nice.
Especially if you're like doing boss encounters, you can set it to a certain amount of HP.
But then we have defense. By default, defense is 13 plus dex. Some may have a bonus to that, usually plus 1 to 3. Then we have armor. We have armor value. Now, if a creature has armor, it gets the AV that armor would grant. If it has natural AV and also wears armor, it's the sum of both. But let's see, then we have speed, which is going to be standard fare. And abilities and skills. So it's NPCs still have the 7 ability scores and can have 1 or more skills. Initial abilities are usually 7 to 8 ability points and 5 to 7 skills for sentient creatures and NPCs. 5 to 7 and 3 to 6 for non-sentient. Usually, a creature always has the skills relative to the weapons it uses, whether natural or manufactured. If the creature has psionic powers or abilities, it possesses the psionic skill, obviously. And has at least 1 skill linked to saving throws, such as fortitude, lucidity, reflex, or stamina. If you raise a creature's level, you can improve its ability scores and the bonuses to each skill, just like with characters. Assign 8 to 10 points per level for sentient creatures and only 6 to 8 for non-sentient. We also have a nice little sidebar for customizing creatures and NPCs. We'll be adding some details, replacing skills, adding special traits, adding equipment, or adding class levels. Of course, some may completely lack certain ability scores. But then we have vulnerability, resistance, and immunity, and those are assigned in a way that's fairly obvious. But they do have a bit of a guideline for if you're modifying existing creatures or coming up with new ones. It's only assign it if it's intuitive, for example, and if it has resistance or immunity to multiple common damage types, it might turn out more difficult to deal with, but resistances and immunity decreases as level increases. And creatures usually only have vulnerability to no more than 1 or 2 types of damage. Okay, then we have special senses. So infravision, thermovision, blind sight, ultravision, and tremor sense. Languages, which is a self-explanatory thing. Then when it comes to creatures' attacks, we do have a nice little baseline, and and hello there, Maki, and yes, morning for you, evening for me. Hope things are going well for you. But the size of the creature determines the typical base damage for primary and secondary weapons. ranging from 1d4 for tiny creatures and 2d10 for gargantuan creatures. And we also have a bit of a thing on damage and limited use powers, as well as variants, saying stat blocks can be used to represent a family of similar creatures. Some of them also have variants to help diversify the abilities of these creatures from each other. When present, the variant section illustrates traits and alternative actions the GM can opt for to characterize the creature represented by the stat block in question. See, then equipment, i.e., does it have equipment? And in that case, just use the stats for that equipment. But we also have extraordinary creatures, so this is the equivalent of layer actions and legendary actions. If I'm being honest, when layer actions and legendary actions were introduced in 5e, I always felt like that was a bit of a gimmick. Especially since a lot of times legendary actions is just used as a get out of damage free card in a limited sense.
Nuh-uh, you didn't do any damage. I rolled to succeed.
No, okay, so I will say we had a character, and sometimes like the character, the guy is absolutely on the mark when it comes to things. Sometimes he's not. Sometimes he's a complete idiot. But with this character, he was a one-trick pony, and his one trick was to take out all of my legendary resistances every single time. He would be like, "Nah, mind thrust, every turn, mind thrust. Oh, you only want to be able to take one action, and I've got a freaking huge ass dragon." It's like, I want to do more than one thing. What the fuck? Okay, no. Oh well, looks like I don't have any legendary resistances. Oh fuck.
Yeah, to further go on with that, I'm also just as not a big fan of actions or abilities that are specifically meant for nothing else than to counter this one thing. I suppose a really good example of this would be force damage. Like, the only reason force damage exists is to deal with incorporeal. And I remember the guys at Crafty Games outright hating that.
I created monsters that literally, like, I had a person who said, "Oh, I'm going to take force damage because nothing's resistant to force damage." And I was like, haha, bet. So when I would create monsters, they would be resistant to both psychic and force 9 times out of 10 because nothing else was.
Yeah. Or I think we've all seen monsters in various games where they're immune to just about everything except for this one thing.
Sounds right.
I generally don't like that in terms of game design. Obviously, I'm not saying it should be vulnerable to everything, but I'd rather take the opposite approach of, if you're doing damage to it, it is lessened except for a few routes as opposed to just one. Because you are assuming that people are building around that one thing. And that is one hell of an assumption to be making.
I like gimmicks sometimes, to your point. Mostly because when I designed bosses in a couple one-shots, I'd have them specifically counter, like, ranged characters because there were quite a lot. Or have reactions to people casting spells. Like, nope, you're not doing that.
Mm-hmm. That is.
But it was more for my boss characters than anything.
Yeah. But it's a whole other thing when you're building specifically to prevent somebody from using certain actions. That, I think, is a step too far.
I have a philosophy whenever I'm designing things that, yeah, they can kill you, but you can kill most of them just as fast.
Which I'm fine with. I enjoy Hotline Miami, doors notwithstanding, and it very much does that.
Or Shadow Warrior, where you can kill enemies with doors.
And I did really enjoy the demo of Six Samurai when I played that on stream, where everything goes down in one hit, but that also includes you.
So a Hell in Hell mode in the DMC reboot.
Hell in Hell started in Devil May Cry 4, and the less said about the reboot, the better.
And the reboot doesn't look so bad now that the Netflix show is out.
No, they're both equally shit. And I think.
Well, I guess we'll have to agree to disagree on that one.
I do think that the legacy of the reboot will be slightly better than that of the Netflix series, especially after that one podcast that exposed the Netflix series' creator as a bit of a narcissist.
Okay, I'll concede that one.
But anyway, then we get to non-player characters and some of the suggestions for outlining them. Things like a random setup for physical appearance, for attitude, for quirks. I do like some of the quirks being they play jokes or puns all the time.
Looking at you, certain other person within our panel here.
What?
Or they talk in rhyme or some other odd way. Hi, Etrigan, how you doing? Anytime I've seen Etrigan be putting a stat block in a TTRPG, even the description of that is in rhyme. As well as the description of all of his abilities. And when I was playing the Versus System card game back when I was in high school, the special effect for Etrigan in that game also rhymed.
Oh, goodness.
And just to illustrate my point, let me see if I can dig up that card. Yep, here it is. Let me copy image. I'm going to put this in the Sacristi chat for you all.
When the demon Etrigan enters play, in turns 8 opponents must pay. To ignore this should a player choose, all his resource shall he lose. I actually kind of like that, in a weird way.
I appreciate the commitment to the bit. Because, well, I'm pretty sure in every appearance Etrigan has had, whether it be in TV or the comics, he's always speaking in rhyme. Mostly because
Back the form of man.
Mostly because of the curse that he's under.
Curse you, Merlin! Oh, and shit, he cursed me.
But we also have a thing for personality, bond and flaw, boons, and occupation. As well as the type of NPCs, whether it be antagonists, allies, or contacts, or hired NPCs. Sometimes you can add creatures as NPCs, or NPCs as part of an adventurer's party. As well as...
You mean DMPCs?
or low-level minions, or adventurers NPCs, as well as a optional loyalty rule to determine how much an NPC will go to great lengths to protect or assist you.
I kind of like that, actually.
The loyalty score is measured by a score ranging from 0 to 10. Starting loyalty is usually 5, or the highest will score among the party's adventurers, whichever is the lower of the two. The loyalty score is tracked secretly by the GM, increases by 1 if you help them achieve a goal related to their bond or ideal, or if they're treated well. The loyalty score cannot exceed 10.
I don't know what that added.
Yeah, an NPC whose loyalty score is 7 or higher will risk their neck to help their fellow adventurers. If it's between 1 and 6, their loyalty is low. If the score drops to 0, they're no longer loyal to the party and will no longer act in the party's interests. And after that, we have a set of generic NPC blocks. So a citizen, a laborer, a expert, a rascal. I do like when it comes to expert, there's a few variations on that. And the generic citizen is armed with pepper spray. So I've seen some people completely screw up using pepper spray and end up
themselves.
Yeah, end up pulling an own goal.
I mean, my students, since I was over security, they would actually have to get pepper spray like certified, but it was, you know, OC spray, granted, but but there's like a legitimate certification to be able to do that, right?
Listen, as long as the NPCs don't suddenly drop to 0 loyalty out of nowhere, or else I'd be I'd have flashbacks of a certain scene from Firefly. Was it Serenity?
First, there's sudden but inevitable betrayal.
That's the one.
It was probably Firefly because there wasn't a major enough backstab in the movie. But it looks like anytime there would be a loyalty decrease, it's meant to go down by 1d4, which does mean you shouldn't be risking it too much when the range is 0 to 10. Let's see, we have fighter barbarian as an option. Arena fighter, along with a few others. We have mobster types. So if you want to do a legally distinct Jabba the Hutt campaign, that's one way to do it.
Yes, Pizza the Hut.
Pizza the Hut.
Psionicist is one option. Which, by the way, Joe, did you read through the psionics chapter?
I did.
Yeah, what was your take on how psionics was handled?
I mean, it would take me a bit to get used to it. I didn't see anything that really bothered me, per se. Whenever it comes to quote-unquote magic systems, it always takes me a bit to... Like, I'd have to actually try it instead of just read about it.
Which is fair.
But I have no qualms about it, one way or another.
Let's see, then we have blocks for alien fauna, starting with generic animals. So
it's generic.
I understand that reference. I do appreciate that they put a sidebar for small creatures that usually don't need stats. The examples they give are mice, rats, squirrels, rabbits, hares, rodents, hedgehogs, moles, Dermoptera, various insects, small reptiles and birds, so on.
if I get another player asking me how much HP the chicken has, I swear to every single deity in existence.
Nobody
I
does
just
that
like
in my
stat block for the monstrous shark here.
nobody does that at my table because they know if they do, they're gonna have to drink the pain glass.
Not the pain glass.
Or drink a bottle of bacon soda. Take your pick on which one is worse.
Can I have a bacon pancake instead?
No.
Damn.
Pancakes are rewards, not punishments.
What if we label it a punishment pancake?
Then you get hit with the pan.
Hey, why am I hitting someone?
No, you're hitting yourself. Or
Damn.
depending on who's at my table, sometimes I will I will say whoever, if you screw up too much, then somebody in the back will get out the slipper.
Not the chunkla.
I got your chancla right here.
Oh,
Good luck. That shit can be hard to dodge.
yeah. I have seen women shot with that thing and it's still hit. But we also have things like giant arachnids. We saw that earlier. Giant centipede. And we have worm sign, the likes of which even God has never seen.
Gasp.
You know, giant crustaceans. So that's how you get your giant enemy crab. Though I think a giant enemy lobster would be more terrifying.
So here's this giant enemy crab.
Let's see. Arthropod, giant armored insect. The example they give is the giant beetle. I did inflict a giant dung beetle on the enemy on the party at one point,
Oh god.
which was rolling a giant ball of dung, as you'd expect. How giant? Enough to trigger the Indiana Jones theme, if you catch my drift.
That thing must have stung.
Da, 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 da.
The giant aggressive insect, so giant ants, mantis, locusts, wasps.
We have giant ants, but no giant uncles?
Ha!
God damn it.
You know, mollusk, hunting cephalopod, which could be a predatory squid, a red devil, or a giant cuttlefish. You know, if you really want to have horrifying looking monsters, just steal notes from deep sea life.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Reapers in Mass Effect are based on the Reaper cuttlefish in the bottom of the ocean. There's some weird ass things down there.
That one game where the entire planet's basically water and there's these huge creatures that can kill you, but you have to dive deep anyway. You're in a submarine. Subnautica, that's it.
Oh yeah, and Subnautica certainly has its big ass things. Oh, and we have
Things.
monstrous cephalopod, so your giant squid or octopus. You know, release the kraken. Oh, and you know, poisonous amphibians. So think your brightly colored frogs and toads. Your giant toads. Which
Okay, but if it starts quoting Shakespeare at me, I start looking at it funny.
or things like a giant salamander, so a giant newt or Proteus, or monstrous salamanders, things like which are going to be certain water adjacent dinosaurs.
Got it, Charmander and Charizard.
as well as different types of fish, including swordfish. And for whatever reason, I see that and I keep thinking of if you say the password swordfish, I'll lose it from Sam and Max. Where they end up game show guessing that the password is actually haggis.
I understood that reference.
But we have hunting sharks, armored sharks,
Street sharks.
and monstrous sharks.
They're awesome.
They bite, they fight, they'll kick some serious fin.
Let's see, then a few dinosaur types like the different types of Carnosaurus.
Dinosaur, sir.
As well as a giant constrictor snake. So this is where you.
Oh, hell no. Get the fuck out of there with that shit. Hell no. That's where I draw the line.
You get back here.
Not a fan of snakes, are you?
No.
I'm the one who has to take care of snakes for him.
Da 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 da.
Had to be snakes.
Or things like canid hunters. So an example of a lesser canid would be a coyote or a jackal.
Hey, they have feelings too. You can't call them lesser.
Well, considering that a greater one would be a hyenodon or a direwolf or a bear.
Are bears canids?
Well, given the whole biting things and biting your whole thing off, yeah.
I am putting too much thought into that. I'm sorry.
Yes, you are.
Nope. Not even going there.
Bears are dogs, understood.
Bears are dogs. Got it.
For greater felid hunters, they put in sphelodon as well as tigers, which makes sense. And lesser ones they put.
They
in
have
things
lions,
like-
tigers, and bears.
Oh my!
Oh my.
And lesser types they put in cheetah as an example, which makes sense. And it will
But not
always,
cheetah men.
Prosper.
it will always make me laugh that cheetahs tweet.
Yeah, it's very adorable.
And purr and meow.
They are essentially
They also have-
big house cats.
You should see them with boxes.
At least it's not the cheetah men.
It's a shame they never prosper.
But we have marine mammals. Dolphins and porpoise are on the lesser end, and on the greater end would be things like orcas, which makes complete sense to me.
Huh. So are we also going to see Army, Navy, and Air Force?
Judging from the pages I've read ahead, most likely.
Understood.
Mhm. But I do appreciate that with each one they do have a Earth equivalent, even though the art is definitely not Earth equivalent. And there's options for customizing alien fauna.
Ungulate.
And you have things like neolobopods, which are the more exotic types of fauna. So basically, at this point, we get into the kind of fauna that there isn't an Earth equivalent to. That is exclusive to the more alien planets that you're going to see in Farsight. And
Who names these things?
The same people who come up with the weird ass names that you see in scientific naming. Although,
I have a feeling I need to link the how things were named video now.
although the one on page 296, I'm staying far away from that thing.
Oh, look at that smile.
See, I was half
I'ma
expecting
kill
you
it.
to say that it wants a hug.
I mean, it does look like it wants a hug.
I'ma kill it.
Not if it gets you first. That's an ambush hunter.
And then we have a nice little sidebar about habitats and environments, i.e., where these kind of creatures live.
Oh, I like that Gono Titan.
Then we have things like predatory plants and alien fungi, as well as
Party!
duct parasites. And monstrous beasts, which includes a mimic predator. Also known as a hiding beast or night stalker, has a body similar to a large cat but with 6 legs and a lashing tail ending in a sharp sting. It has smooth black skin, devoid of fur, and 4 parts of vivid yellow eyes that denote marked intelligence. What makes this creature truly lethal are its unusual abilities. It's in fact able to imitate the cries and sounds emitted by its prey, and as if that were not enough, it possesses the psionic ability to distort the light around itself in so as to become invisible and attack its prey by surprise. It's a displacer
beast.
Yeah, it's a
Okay, I was about to say, the only thing that it's missing is the ability to make, like, holographic clones of itself. Else it would be a displacer beast.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got a direct ripoff of Shadow Warrior with the Rippers.
Yep.
Which is odd, because they actually tear.
Until it is done.
Indeed, indeed.
But then we have monstrous insectoids, and of course the first one we have is the Ankeg.
I mean, giant evil centipede.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why do these things get, like, simple names, and then if you scroll back up to the animals, it's like some weird thing that barely looks scientific, and it sounds like I'm trying to summon some eldritch monstrosity when I try to pronounce it.
I mean, you're not, because I am.
But
No, you're not.
Shh.
then we have monstrous worms, so this is where you get your sandworms, as well as ice and magma worms.
So we can have a Magmantis after all.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, that sandworm isn't striped. I was lied to.
And things like plasmoids, so this is where you get your gelatinous cubes and slimes.
Lymphatic jelly. Ugh.
No, don't eat that.
I don't want to.
And of course, robots.
What,
iRobot.
Robot?
Which even includes things as big as millbots. Although that looks
As well as
it looks less like a mech and that looks less like a robot and more like a mech.
it's only a mech if someone can ride in it.
No,
But it does have
Missile
rules
Pod.
for robots as players, so that's pretty interesting.
Yep. Then sentient species like the Docran. As well as the Elithran. And you do have the option for both as player characters.
Ah, yes, because I would love to be a... Is that a plant?
It looks like a plant.
It looks like a mind flayer in a robot body.
Xenoid.
Also,
Doesn't tell me much.
you also have the Kells as an option.
Kel dragons?
Oh,
Oh,
I thought
lizard
you were
folk.
talking about that purple thing over there, and I was like, oh, that was whenever he said the mind flare. I was like, wait, where? That's not look. That one doesn't look like a mind flare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Warids,
Oh,
which
Kells.
are fully digital consciousness. And based on the description that they give, I think the Chorus would be equivalent to Gap.
Resistance is futile.
And we have Screeds, which are insects.
Something about them bug me.
Oh, let's see, Solkatli,
Sorry.
which is described as a cross between a pterosaur, a fruit bat, and a tropical bird. And
I
They
want one.
walk on their wings.
I want one.
Pretty cool.
they have the Tarquat, which I'm not.
They are ape things with 4 arms and a shoulder cannon. I'm in.
What are those huge, slow talking dudes from
Elcor is, I think, what you're.
Thank you. Yes.
We also have
Thank
some
you.
stat blocks for swarm type NPCs and creatures.
Those look like the evil, like the. They're from Shin Megami Tensei, and I cannot remember. They're the red things.
I know what you're thinking of.
I can't remember their names for the life of me. I kept wanting to say Lost Souls, and I was like, nope, they don't want hugs.
I know what you're thinking of. I can't think of the name, but I've seen the things.
They're the things.
The things.
They come
Why
in
is
swarms.
that just a tangle of... Oh, it is just called a tangle of snakes. Okay, never mind.
Hey, look, it's Sig's favorite.
It's Yamata no Orochi.
It's Yamata no Orochi. Indeed.
We also have a cloud of nanites. Nanomachine
Oh,
Sun.
fuck. Oh,
You know, I have seen enough Star Trek to know where that's going.
You know, this actually shows us a cloud of nanites versus a horde of rats. I think we know who's winning.
Yeah.
The tangle of venomous snakes.
Obviously. Oh, no, it's all over. It's a flock of birds.
Mhm. And then we have Xena, which this is basically the xenomorphs in all but name. Let's not beat around the bush here.
So
There's
we got
the
the
bull- there's
predators,
the bull
and we got
aliens.
okay, no, we got it all. The predators and the xenomorphs.
Mhm. Although that is a big Xeno.
That's a bull alien.
Mhm.
Obviously, that's the female of the species.
And that's that lurker is the only type of it that they have. Oh.
For now.
Mhm.
I mean, extreme threat at level 17. I hope that's the only one they have.
Yeah. So, at the very least, I'm glad that they don't have a legally distinct facehugger.
Yet.
Yet.
I was about to say.
Actually, never mind. They do describe that. They do describe.
Oh,
that since it's so horrifying and frightening that they appear like something out of the worst nightmares. Xenoths are among the most fearsome and deadly creatures one can deal with. Almost nothing is known about them except for the fact that they are endoparasitoids capable of infesting any other complex organism.
There it is.
Their life cycle remains largely unknown, but certainly, the initial phase of their development includes a larval stage that grows inside an unlucky host organism, which will inevitably die when the larva rips open its body to exit and transform into its adult form.
And they
They'll also
even
go
have
into-
the acid blood for the extraordinary actions.
Mm-hmm.
It also put on a top hat and start singing.
I understood that. Right?
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal.
Mhm.
Check,
I'll have
please.
the salad.
But after that, the book goes into the. Oh, appendix, which is where we get the character sheet, as well as the sheet for vehicles and for full-on ships. And some nice little initiative cards I could see using at a physical table. You know, along with a thing for the stellar sectors. Because if you're going to be doing a space game, why would you not have space exploration? A stellar system sheet. And there are ways to randomly generate planetary bodies, so there's that. Also has a nice little measurement set up here. Then a planet sheet, if you really want to go into detail. A nice little hex thing. The edge cards in a D100 format, if you so want. They do recommend using the deck of edge cards if you're going to be using that system. But this is a nice little consolation. And then the sources of inspiration, which they admit is no exhaustive list. But let's see what they've listed for literary works. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. There.
I love
the Robot series, the Galactic Empire series, the Foundation series, the Gods themselves, Nemesis, Nightfall, all the works of Isaac Asimov. They could have just said Asimov Isaac, all the works.
True.
See, the Culture series.
That feels to me like they're like, oh yes, that series, and that series, and that series, and this, and that, and you know what, everything.
Yep. Galactic Center, The Martian Chronicles, Fahrenheit 451, The Illustrated Man, the Uplift series, Ender's Game, and that.
Okay.
There's a lot of familiar names on the literary side, and then when it comes to movies and TV series,
I think we've made every single reference to every single one of these at this point.
Okay, but why Watchmen? That just seems out of left field.
So does V for Vendetta.
Right?
True.
What from Watchmen and V from Vendetta did you pull? The dystopian society?
The fact that they have Akira and Alita in here kind of makes me smile.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they have Aeon Flux in here makes me go, wow, someone still remembers that exists.
Kind of like the Trigun reference.
Right?
Um,
I mean, Tekkaman and Tekkaman Blade also made me smile.
Although, since they brought up Metropolis, the question I have to ask is, which one? Are we talking the original Fritz Lang Metropolis? Or are we talking the Osamu Tezuka Metropolis?
Yes.
Put Oh, I see it.
Oh.
I want to say the Tezuka one.
Yeah. And I have to say the same thing when they mention Judge Dredd under movie. Are we talking Stallone Dredd or Carl Urban Dredd?
I am the law!
Oh.
I'd like to hope we're referring to the Carl Urban Dredd. You know, the good one.
Nah, it's Stallone.
To Stallone's
they'll
credit, he does consider his Dredd movie a missed opportunity, and he didn't want to take the helmet off.
Like, they put both Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049, but they'll just put Judge Dredd. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Now, the road being in here, it's a stretch, but I guess, though, if I'm being honest, the road is one of those things that doesn't work well as a movie. And
I'm amused at Hunger Games.
yeah,
I was looking at while I totally understand the Battlestar Galactica thing. I was just like, wait, were they referring to like the toasters, or are they referring to the ships themselves, or what part of Battlestar Galactica in general were they referring to? Because I didn't see anything that would specifically be that.
Galactica 1980. No, I'm kidding. Nobody likes Galactica 1980.
I mean, I was looking. Now I'm wanting to go back up and see if they had any toasters.
I think we saw a few, but and when
I
it comes
think
to
so. I just don't remember.
animation,
I'm
and
sad they
comics,
didn't put Buck Rogers in here.
I
They didn't
appreciate
put in Jet Force Gemini, man.
Jet Force
I
Gemini.
I appreciate that Captain Harlock is put in this, as well as Knights of Sidonia.
And Love, Death, and Robots.
And I should be pedantic and say that they should have put in Macross and not Robotech, but I'll let that one slide. And
You know, I only just now realized.
But after that, we have a nice, very large index, and then the back cover, and that more or less covers Farsight.
Yeah.
So, with that in mind, what did you guys think of Farsight as a whole?
So when are we running it?
Exactly. This seems like a freaking good time, like all
It does.
around.
Yeah. I know that this is called. That calls itself 5e Evolved, and there's definitely the DNA in there. But I feel like somebody who has 5e brain rot, if they tried to pick this up, they would have to learn to adjust very quickly.
I mean, that's fair.
But this definitely feels as close as we've gotten to the 5e format meets Saga Edition. And for people who like to customize, well, there's plenty of options there. And while it doesn't have a full NPC creation system like I would have liked, the customization for NPCs and creatures that is here is well appreciated, especially the fact that challenge rating is more of a broad grade rather than a hard and fast thing.
I also appreciate the fact that it seems a lot less bloated than 5e.
I suppose part of that lack of bloat is due to the fact that a lot of things that would be class features in 5e proper or something that's reskinning 5e is in the talent setup. Because even with all the customization here, we only have 3 classes. And
Yeah, but it also feels like you can really specialize characters for certain things. Like you got one that's really good at piloting. You could have one that's good at shooting up everything. You could have one for psionic.
But in terms of what grade I would give Farsight personally, I would go with strongly recommended. The only real nitpick I could have, and this is really scraping the bottom of the barrel, is maybe have some pre-gens, except that's already handled in the quick start. We didn't get to it, but there are 8 pre-gen characters in the quick start for the A Voice in the Void adventure. 2 of them are deltas, 2 of them are psis, and 4 of them are sigmas. So that's certainly present, and of course the quick start is completely free because who the hell would charge money for a quick start? What kind of idiot does that?
Nerdvana. I'm sorry, what?
but we know who runs Nerdvana because. Hello, Randy. Fucking priest man.
No kidding.
But when it comes, but that's really the worst of it. And I'd say if you can get Farsight, get it alongside the Chronicles of the Edge expansion. And while Farsight finished up its release a few years ago, it has not been abandoned by Lightfish Games. Because while we were doing this series, it came out that Lightfish is going fully independent, as
Very
opposed
nice.
to being published through MS Edizione for this. And because of that, they are planning some things in the future for this setup. First off, they made a SRD for their 5e evolved system.
Nice.
So if someone wanted to, they could hack it. I'm not saying that I will anytime soon, but the option is there.
Shit, I might tinker with it.
Although they, instead of calling it 5e evolved, they call it their double 12 system, which honestly is a better name.
Yep.
But they brought up a few other things on their Facebook. Let's see, along with the fact that they are collaborating with some of the folk from Epic Party Games, who I'm very familiar with. So some of the things that they have planned and are as follows: a fantasy spin on the Double 12 system called Mistvale, as well as what they refer to as primal sci-fi called Cyberzoic. And given the image that they shared previewing some of the stuff that they're going to be doing, and I wouldn't expect to see a good amount of this for a while, I think we can make a good guess as to what kind of game Cyberzoic is going to be.
Oh, let us see what you have posted. Oh, yeah. I am down.
Cyberzoic is going to be their next project.
I like Mistvale.
Though it's going to be quite a bit before we see it, because it's probably going to be made in Italian first before it gets translated.
Right.
And this particular bit of news regarding that is something that dropped back in the tail end of June. I did talk about it on the server, but they are also working with Creative Beast Studio on some minis, and they do at the very least have a prototype. I will post that for you guys. And it is exactly what you think it is.
Dino Riders. Not that I'm complaining. That's pretty awesome.
Yep. And I've been on their socials, and they post a lot of concept art that they dig out of ArtStation and a few other places. It would be really funny if somebody used this to make a better Destiny RPG than the Destiny 5e project.
No kidding. I like the design of that armor.
Mm-hmm. But I would say I would say for those who want a space opera where flexibility is very much front and center, Farsight is definitely up there with that. Because there's plenty of that to spare within this system, and while there isn't a hard and fast setting, there is enough of a vibe to build around. One that is doing a science fantasy approach. Now, if someone wants a more hard sci-fi experience, I'd be a little hesitant in recommending Farsight to them. This is very much a space opera. Now, there is nothing wrong with it being a space opera, but if you want something on the harder end of things, I think it would be better served with Mothership or something like that. Much as I think Mothership is vastly overexposed these days, but that's another story. But the big reason I go with strongly recommended is there isn't enough bad in what I'm seeing out of Farsight to warrant bumping it down a peg. Like, the worst I can say is maybe putting pre-gens in the core, or the way vehicle combat being a little bit clunky, but vehicle combat using 5e's setup is always going to be clunky. I think the other thing that some people would have to get used to is not rolling a d20, but instead rolling 2d12. Which, personally, I'm fine with that. A 2d12 setup is not going to be as swingy, and it also means that when somebody does get the double dozens, it's going to be a much bigger deal at the table. Let me do a probability spread on any dice. 12. So it would be 0.69% of a chance to get that. The most common result is 13 at 8.3%. Now you contrast that with the D20, which has a 5% chance across the board with every result. Now, does that mean I'd do a 2d12 approach with Legend Edition? No, I'm sticking with D20 on that just to keep that part straightforward. Especially since if I did a 2d12, it'd mean I'd have to mess around with the difficulty ratings, and I don't feel like doing that.
Certainly don't blame you there.
Indeed, indeed.
But with that said, that is going to conclude our look at Farsight. And I will definitely say anybody who wants to lean into space opera to get this instead of trying to force vanilla 5e into being 5e in space. Especially since if you took that approach, you'd have to force the Vancian model into space, and that's not going to work. But next week will be our between season one-shot, and starting in August, there are 2 potential games we'll end up doing. Well, technically, starting in early August, since next Friday is August 1st. We'll either be doing the fan translation of the Embryo Machine RPG, or we will be doing Draw Steel. It depends on what I get. But next week, we will be doing a one-shot of Hunters of the Chalice Lands, which is only about 50 pages, so it perfectly fits the one-shot category. But that is a story for another night. So thanks to everyone who stopped who stopped by for a little bit or a lot of it, and I hope to see you all for the next bit of adventures. But until then, on behalf of the good brothers present and not present, my name is Mildra. I am your gaming monk. Stay fucking frosty, everybody.
See you on the trail.
Take care.
Later.
Hãy subscribe cho kênh Ghiền Mì Gõ để không bỏ lỡ